Who is Bobby Stewart?
Bobby Stewart is an individual, that's dedicated and manifested by thought to do whatever he can to help others, to be free. By being incarcerated for the period of time that I was incarcerated, I want society to know that we're not beasts, we're human beings, and we want to be respected as human beings. If you don't respect that a man's soul can be redeemed, then you sell humanity short. Elderly people are vulnerable people in incarceration, and the swift consideration of them being released has to be expedient, because so many of us, as being an elderly person, we lose our families, we lose our loved ones. It took 42 years, 10 months, and 12 days for me to be revived, to know that I could be a responsible person, that I will not be a liability, but I could be an asset to whatever community that I live in. And it forsakens me that in the time that I was going, that my son died. That I could have been a father, I could have been a mentor to him. And the question is, what could have happened if he was released 10 years earlier? It means a lot for my family to have me home. But the valuable thing that I respect today is that my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren, yes, I got great-grandchildren, they look to me today as, hey, granddad, pops, we're glad to see you. We're glad to have you back into our life. Be where we can be there for you, where we couldn't been there for you in the past. And we accept you, we respect you. Please live the life that you need to live and stay with us. Love us as we love you now.
Who is Anthony Muhammad?
Anthony Muhammad is a brother. Anthony Muhammad is a friend. Anthony Muhammad is somebody who is intimately concerned about the community, intimately concerned about righting the wrongs that he has done in his own past. At the age of 15, I was arrested for 2 homicide charges in the city of Baltimore. I was ultimately convicted and sentenced to life plus 20 years in prison. Thankfully, the judge who released me said the exact opposite about me than the judge who sentenced me. In fact, the judge who released me said that in all of her years on the bench, I was the first violent offender that she had absolutely no reservations about releasing back into the community. Since my release, I've been pretty much very active in the community. I'm a youth mentor with the Baltimore Brothers organization. We provide a manhood training class to Baltimore City youth. That is my principal work of activity, engaging young men throughout Baltimore City, trying to help other 15-year-olds not make the same bad decisions I made when I was 15. Our community is our responsibility. It's our job to make our community safe and decent places to live. So the community engagement work that we do, both at Baltimore Brothers and We Are Us, we kind of literally boots on the ground, door to door, block by block, street by street, engaging the members of the community. We provide resources to the community, food resources, financial resources, housing resources, employment resources, identifying what are the needs in the community, and then connecting and collaborating with organizations and people that provide those essential needs and services.
What are you passionate about in your life right now?
I'm passionate about changing lives, changing minds, mentalities. helping people get to that point where that light bulb comes on for them. And they start to see that there's a better way of doing this, a better way of living this thing that we call life. So there's a lot that has not been said or credit that has not been given to those returning citizens who are really the foundational cornerstone of that success. Who would ever thought that people who were once perpetrators of crime and violence in the community are now all of a sudden the solution to crime and violence in the community?
Who is Gordon Pack?
I'll begin with saying that I am a father expected. I am a husband. I am a neighbor. I am an employee. I am a citizen. I'm just a normal person like everyone else, but I didn't start that way. I started off as a 15-year-old with some problems and ended up committing adult crimes and spending 42 years, almost 43 years in prison.
Spent 42 years inside. How do you spend your time now?
I would say I spend it graciously. Everything is so appreciated now in comparison to what I lived through those years. To me, restorative justice is reestablishing the balance that was broken by committing crimes. A lot of times we just look at punishing a person for a transgression, but that really doesn't solve the problem. So I take a great deal of effort and energy in trying to coordinate and help people get out and to stay out. So this is my way of giving back. This is my way of repentance, because it doesn't stop just because I did time. I still have a responsibility to do everything I can to make things just. I will get engaged in efforts to deter crime, to deter youth from crime, to talk to victims of crime. These things are very important and they have to be done. So if I'm welcome in that space, I will gladly go there and share my experience. I gave up on ever having a family, having children. I gave up on being married. These are things after decades and decades in prison, you really don't think it'll ever happen in your life. So for me, the greatest role that I have as an individual right now is being a great father, being a good husband, being a good neighbor, being a good friend. I spent a great deal of time of mentoring people in prison. I spent a great deal of time of helping people out as they get out of prison, but I have never raised a child. So now I get a chance to try to incorporate that in my daily life in hopes that our son, my wife and our son, will grow to be a better person than I ever was. I really believe that I appreciate everything, things I never imagined happening, and here I am after such a long time.
Who is Wayne Green Bay?
Well, I'm an individual who love helping people. I'm an individual who want to see how people win. I'm an individual that's very compassionate, very understanding, very remorseful, and overall just a good person. I was incarcerated for approximately 38 and a half years. The work that I do is human service, so it's nothing more rewarding to provide the individual with the appropriate resources needed to help navigate their way through this madness out here. So it's not a job to me, it's something that I welcome, I run to, because it's something that I enjoy doing. I do have a victim awareness program where I do bring victims and perpetrators together for healing, reconciliation, and forgiveness. We try to not demonize the individual, but, show an individual's true worth and stuff, you know what I mean? And it's a mighty work, but it's very rewarding, though.
What does a day-to-day look like?
I hang out with a little 2-year-old little kid named True. So that's my little rap. So him and I just chilled and build, you know what I mean? That's my little boy.
What made you want to do this work?
Well, I'm proud to say that we going on over 500 days without a homicide. So that's something to be very proud of. When I was away, man, all that I ever prayed for was my freedom, coming home and helping my people.
Who is Alonzo Turner Bay?
Alonzo Turner Bay, 53 years old, family man, caring, kind, goal-driven community activist. That's who I am. I was incarcerated for 31 years, 6 months, 16 days, and 5 hours for a crime that I committed when I was a juvenile. While I was in prison, I educated myself, went to school, got active in the legislative process, and became a community advocate.
Tell me, why do you think black people are incarcerated at such a high rate?
Prison is the new Jim Crow slavery of today. America was built off of men and women who look like me. Racism ain't something that's just born in America overnight. This is something that's been going on for a long period of time. And so the racism has been so ingrained in the states, inside the counties, inside the cities, inside the municipalities, that it's like an everyday fiber thing. It can't function without racism, whether it's overt or covert. So you get the furniture industry, you get the chemicals that are made to clean up in prison. All the colleges, all the state office buildings, all of their furniture are made by prisons. So they're getting free labor, not just in the state of Maryland, but throughout the country. The same way in slavery. So the longer as I keep the prison industrial complex rolling, the states benefit. And who are the most vulnerable people? Those people who look like me. When I first came out, I worked with a nonprofit organization called Fresh, Fully Restoring Every Son's Hope. That nonprofit is geared towards helping men and women who return back to Prince George's County, help them reacclimate themselves back into the community. Doing food drives, doing coat drives, clothing drives, helping the homeless, the less fortunate. But at the end of the day, man, to see my family proud, see them smile, see them happy, see the people in the community that I help do better with the things I'm able to help them with and move their life forward, man. It just brings my heart with joy.
What do you enjoy about life right now?
Living. I live life, enjoy life. One day I hope to get married. I like to have a family. So it's the small things in life that some people take for granted. Men and women who have been incarcerated enjoy those small things, man. It's just small things in life, that bring sunshine and hope to individuals like me. Enjoy the small things, man, because they mean a lot. I encourage everybody, man, smell the roses. Because if they're ever taken from you, or you ever take them for granted, you lose them. You'll wish you had them back again.
Who is John Woodland?
John Woodland versus father. I was incarcerated for 37.5 years. The court released me in June of 2021.
I'm Autumn Woodland. John Woodland is my father. When my father came home, it was honestly the greatest day of my life. So it's, gosh, I can only think about how his presence has just made such a major difference in my life experience compared to how I was growing up when he was away.
What does a day-to-day look like for you since you've been on the outside?
Oh, wow. Well, it usually starts off with me making prayer. But I think the main thing for me in my day is trying to communicate with my children right and make sure that they're okay. And, you know, for me, they have been a blessing. When I was incarcerated, Autumn was working with the ACLU with Sonia Kumar and them and with the family unification thing. And when Sonia, I would talk to her constantly about, you know, what they were doing. And Sonia would come into the prison to the Lifers program, and I was a part of the Lifers program.
How did it feel knowing your father was on the inside?
The majority of my peers were the children of people who came from a lot of privilege and influence, two-parent households. You know, I'd always see them with their fathers and see my family members with their fathers, and it hurt. It hurt a lot because I love my dad. I always have. You know, any opportunity I could talk to him or spend time with him growing up, it meant the world to me. I might have even locked myself away. He was so active. He was always a part of my life. When I talk about the regular phone calls, once a week, sometimes more, I would talk to him. And my dad helped my mother raise me through phone calls, letters, and visits. And he played such a major role in my life growing up, and I think that's what made things more challenging for me when I was a child.
I think it's important that they pass that second chance legislation, and because it provides a guy inside with hope. I think that's what the legislators should understand, that there's a lot of productivity coming from the second chance program and guys coming home as returning citizens.
I mean, it makes sense. If it's a second look, a second chance, that's what it means. And looking at a person and looking at all of their accomplishments and things that they've done that were productive while they were in prison, and seeing that the community will be a better place when this person comes home. Because there's a ripple effect. When a loved one comes home, what do you feel? Joy. And when people have joy, they have hope. And when you have hope, you want to do positive things. You want to be more optimistic. And from my perspective, it can only go up from there.